Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tori Brame and this is Holy City Mystic. I want to talk to you guys today about Yods in the birth chart specifically. So Yods are actually a reason why I started this channel. I wanted to talk about living on a Pluto line, and then I also wanted to talk about Yods in the birth chart. And the reason I wanted to do it on YouTube was because when I was researching both of those things, because it was affecting my life drastically, I did not actually feel like there was very much information out there, or at least not information that answered the specific questions that I had about them. So Yods are pretty rare in a birth chart, and it's because it's a very specific configuration of planets. And you have to have 3 planets or points, and there's so much arguing and discussion about whether or not your angles should be considered points, so your MC, your IC, your ascendant, or your descendant. Some people say yes, you can add those into the Yod. Some people say no, you can't. It has to be an actual planet. Some people say luminaries, like the sun or moon count. Other people say that they do not. It has to be an actual planet. Other people use asteroids, other people don't. Like it's kind of, I don't know if it's just like too theoretical or something, but there are a lot of debates out there. And so I just wanted to do a video talking about what I have learned from it and my understanding of it, and hopefully you guys can find this helpful. So first of all, what is a Yod? I did this, I know I didn't go to art school, it's crazy, but I did this amazing drawing of a Yod for you. So, as you can see here, you're gonna have a base, and then an apex. So these two have to be 60 degrees apart. It has to be a pretty exact sextile. Some people use like a 3-degree orb, other people are okay with 5-degree. I've found that the closer they are, the more accurate it is. So just use your own best judgment on that, whatever you feel like is gonna be best. The apex is 2 quincunxes, so it has to be a quincunx to one and then a quincunx to the other, and quincunx in conjunct, either way, it's essentially 5 signs away within a very tight orb. When I say orb, I hope you guys know what the heck I'm talking about. It's basically like, if something is exact, it'll be 13 degrees of a sign and then 13 degrees of this other sign. If it is within orb, it's like 3 degrees on either side. So, you know, maybe 16 here and then 13 here or something like that. So that's what that's talking about. So, with this beautiful drawing, a quincunx, what that aspect is irritation. I think that's how Rick Levine describes it. He calls it an irritation aspect, almost like a mosquito, like just that you know, really tiny irritating noise, like that's kind of what it's like. And then a sextile is actually the energy of Venus, like a friendship, like almost like siblings helping you out. If you have a Yod in your chart, it means you have 2 quincunxes coming from different planets that are pouring energy into this one point. And then the 2 planets that it's coming from, they are the ones that are actually working together to help you out. So where you have something that is irritating, think of it like an itch. Like if you're itching somewhere, you're gonna scratch it. And so that irritation causes an action. So if it's a mosquito, you're gonna swat around for it. You might get up, turn on the light, you know, figure out where it is. Same thing if there's like, you know, some mental energy or something like that where you're just like, what was that guy's name that played in that movie that one time? And it's gonna drive you crazy until you figure out what it is. So that quincunx will cause an action, but when you have 2 of them and then 2 other planets helping each other out to create that action, it becomes this like unsolved need, or like some kind of destined action that you cannot rest until it is completed or at least worked on. So if you do have a Yod in your chart, you can check it out and see, you know, I would use a very tight orb, so maybe 3 degrees, to see if you have a Yod. If you have something that is kind of out of orb, like maybe 5 or even 10 degrees, but you feel it really strongly, if it feels important, then it is important. So I actually have 2 Yods in my chart that are exact, like within 1 degree. I have more of a loose Yod with my moon that has like an 8-degree orb with my moon. The other quincunx is is exact, but then I have my moon, which is like 8 degrees away from where it should be to make an exact yod. And that one is kind of funny because that's the one that I feel the strongest. So if it's not within that really tight 3-degree orb, like just feel how it feels for you. And that's how you can know how to proceed. So the 3 most important things to look at when you're looking at a yod in your own chart is, number 1, what sign is the apex in? So I'm just gonna pull this back up here. So the apex, whatever sign it falls in, that's important to take note of because that will be what kind of energy the yod has as fuel. So if it's in Pisces, it might be like more of a fantasy type yod, like maybe more musical, or there's like a lot more esoteric knowledge or something like that that comes with it. If it is in Capricorn, it might be more of a concrete thing, like something where there's concrete steps and actually able to have like a step-by-step process of how this thing needs to look. The next thing you're going to want to notice is what planet that apex is. So all the planets are important. However, the apex of the yod, the point, is going to be where that energy comes from your life. So I'm going to do more videos talking about each planet and what that looks like as the apex. So if it's a Mercury yod, where Mercury is at the apex, that's going to have a lot to do with communication and maybe writing, short distance travel, stuff like that. If it's a moon yod where your moon is at the apex, that's going to have a lot more to do with your person and your emotions, and it might be a lot more, a lot harder of a yod to nail down, like a lot more malleable and movable because the moon moves so fast in astrology. If it's a Mars yod, it's going to have a lot to do with fighting and arguing and coming out on top. And you know, this doesn't necessarily have to be like being a soldier or being a winner or anything like that. It could be advocating for somebody else. So, you know, you could be a social worker trying to get a person resources or something like that. It doesn't necessarily have to be like soldier or fight, you know, fighting the good fight, all that stuff. You can do fighting the good fight in a lot of other ways that still have that Mars energy, but it's not necessarily that like super masculine, strong fighter warrior type. And then the other thing you're going to look at in your yod is what house it falls in. So specifically looking at the apex where that falls. So if it falls in your 5th house, it might have a lot to do with creativity in your life or your children or other fun and light things you have going on. If it's in your 12th house, it could deal a lot with things that happen behind the scenes or even your own psychology or other people's psychology. And as you dive into this, you're going to learn so much about yourself just by looking at this. So a lot of people come into the world not knowing exactly what they have to do. Like, it's just kind of like, oh, I don't know what I want to do for work. I don't know exactly what I need to be, who I need to be. People with yods in their charts, they usually have a pretty strong concept of what they need to accomplish. They might not always know how they need to accomplish it. So it might be like, I have to deliver some kind of message. And they might not know that, you know, they want to do it through being on TV or writing a book or something like that. They might know that they have a story to tell, and that is their life purpose to do that. So one of the things that it's also called is a finger of God. One thing that's interesting about that is that, you know, when you have God leading you to do something, in all the stories and across all the religions, God doesn't pick you up and put you there. He makes things so uncomfortable that you have no choice but to do that thing. And so that's what it's like with a yod, having that, those 2 very irritating aspects with that one helpful aspect at the end, channeling energy into those 2. So it's like you see a need in the world and you are destined to fix that need, to meet that need in some way. So please let me know if you have a yod in your chart. I would love to have like any questions or anything like that, because this is such an interesting topic for me. I would love to do more videos on it. I just need to know what people need to know. So if you have a yod in your chart and you have stories about it or anything like that, I would be so interested to know. And I hope you guys are doing okay. Take Take care.